Sending in Cradilly, we lose. Charge move priority. Weatherball will be taking us out. We're going to save one shield. For Bellsprout, these charms are resisted, but holy smokes, it doesn't look like it. The opponent has Jellicent in the back. Ty firing off the power whip, but is power whip enough? 2 knockouts? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So today we are back at it with a very spicy video. If you look to the left, you will see my good friend Ty has sent me this screenshot of his Bellsprout. This is a level 50, maxed out 15-15-15 Bellsprout. Is Bellsprout any good? I don't know, but we're about to find out. He's also got it equipped as his best buddy, and it still only reaches 1182 CP. As if running Bellsprout isn't spicy enough, we're running ABA Grass in a flying meta, rounding off the team. We've got Rainy, castform. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see a lead against Azumarill. Despite our team being pretty weak to pretty much everything, we absolutely destroy Azumarill. The opponent save switches into Skarmory and Ty lands the Stone Edge for some chip and dip, and then pivots out into castform. The opponent farms up an absolute absurd amount of energy, and Ty's going to throw the Weatherboard, forcing a shield. The opponent is now at 10 air slashes, so they could throw a Brave Bird. They're most likely going to go for the back-to-back Sky Attack. Ty does respect the bird. They do go for the back-to-back Sky Attack, so we can allow the second one to go through, and Ty will commit to the Water Gun farm down. If Azumarill does return, we can absolutely obliterate him with that Thunder coverage. The opponent chooses to come in to the third, which is the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death, aka Talonflame. These are early rank battles, and this opponent is on fire spin. They shield the first Weatherball. Castform says, have Weatherball. Number 2 Talonflame now deep in the red. We commit to the Water Gun farm down. Ty spamming up the Bellsprout, and Azumarill stands there in absolute astonishment, thinking, what am I looking at? And they quickly top left. Moving on to the next one. We see the absolute nightmare lead. Registeel beats all 3 of our Pokemon, so Ty is choosing to stay in. Grass Knot is resisted, but Shadow Cradilly does hit fairly hard. However, not hard enough, as that barely put a dent in this big, giant tin can. Reggie fires a charge move. Ty calls the bait, and the opponent is not the best master baiter, as Ty read the opponent like a book. He now pivots out into the raindrop. He is going to commit a shield on this Zap Cannon. Water guns are adding up. However, this Registeel is so thick, and it is absolutely putting on a hurt on Ty's team. We fire off the Weatherball. Weatherball does land, but it doesn't do a great deal of damage. Ty reaches Weatherball. Number 2, it looks like a charge move priority event. Weatherball does draw a shield, and it is CMP. Ty not going to put another shield up for the castform. Zap Cannon returns us to our Pokeball, and we come in to Bellsprout go for the resisted Vine Whip farm down, and the opponent brings out Knockdown. Holy smokes, this is looking dreadful. Ty going for the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does respectable damage. We pivot out into Cradilly, looking for that wham bam combo play, firing off the Stone Edge. Stone Edge draws the final shield from the opponent. Knockdown is going straight for the Sky Attack, and Ty invests his final Protect shield. Cradilly generating energy super quickly with the Bullet Seeds, makes the next Stone Edge. Stone Edge is going to return Knockdown to its Pokeball. I think we need a Mud Boy in the back for the victory, and ask and you shall receive. Hi Swampert, bye Swampert. Grass Knot, double super effective is going to be all she wrote. I have absolutely no idea how Ty won that game, as it was looking dreadful, but we pull off an absolutely incredible dub. Moving on to the next one. We see some Shadow on Shadow Crime. The opponent is running a very nice looking Shadow Alolan Ninetales. This is the charm variant, so slightly better. For Cradilly, we shield up the Weatherball. The opponent attempts to catch a Stone Edge. However, Ty, far too smart for that, throws the Grass Knot at this Galarian Stunfisk for some chip damage. That was safe switch, and then he pivots out into Castform. Castform goes straight for the Weatherball on a CMP time. The opponent just completely sacks the little bear trap, and back out comes this charm. Alolan Ninetales. The opponent still hanging on to 2 shields, so Ty spams out one more Weatherball, and the opponent does oblige, putting up a shield. The opponent looking for the charm down, farm down, but Castform far too thick, far too spammy, fires off Weatherball. Number 2, and the opponent is now all shields down. Ty sends back out his Cradilly with the Grass Knot locked and loaded. We lose CMP. Ty just sacks Cradilly, putting it all on Bellsprout. Bellsprout gets the full Vine Whip farm down. It's Jellicent in the back. Jellicent weak to grass. This is only 1182 CP, but Power Whip returns Jellicent to its Pokeball, and Bellsprout dancing away for the victory. Very nicely done. Moving on to the next one. We see another huge core breaker for the team in the form of this pesky little tree, Trevadent. It's some tree versus tree action. The opponent doesn't even build up to the Shadow Ball, so it's an easy no shield. For Ty, he's going to return the favour with a Stone Edge. The opponent obliges with a no shield, and holy smokes, that does a lot of damage. We now pivot out into Bellsprout, and the opponent again goes for the Seed Bomb. I know these are early ranked battles, but you can easily see Trevadent could have made the Shadow Ball. However, they just threw a Seed Bomb. Pretty questionable. The opponent now sends out the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, we land the Sludge Bomb. Pivot out into Castform, and it's Swampert. In the back, 2-shield Rainy Castform. Looking absolutely primed to sweep this game. The opponent again doesn't even build up to the Earthquake. An easy no shield for Ty, and he is now going to start unleashing the wrath of the raindrop. Is going to be Weatherball. After Weatherball, the opponent still has 2 shields. They shield the first Weatherball. It looks like they are lagging, but fuck it. If you're going to run basic bitch meta, you probably deserve some lag. Ty now pivots out into Cradilly. The opponent's still lagging. They finally stop lagging. Fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon does take care of Cradilly. They're now back in the game. Ty still with 2 shields. He's easily going to be able to shield up whatever the opponent throws. And I know from shoutcasting Ty many times in the past, we're absolutely going to BM Thunder this Talonflame for the dub. Well, fuck it. I hate Talonflame, so you deserve it, Mr. Opponent. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. Cradilly into Swampert. Great lead. Due to us rock subtyping, water is neutral. However, Swampert really doesn't fancy this matchup. Ty choosing to shield up the Hydro Cannon, recognising they must be weak to Cradilly. In the back, he now returns fire with the Grass Knot, probably enough to obliterate Swampert and its entire family. We now pivot out into Bellsprout to catch the resisted Hydro Cannon. However, Bellsprout doesn't look like it resists anything. It did massive damage. However, Ty did manage to get the full Vine Whip farm down. The opponent now sends out Walrus. They don't shield the Power Whip, and holy crap, I did not expect it to get near one shot. What the heck was that? 1182 CP Bellsprout absolutely obliterating the Walrus. We come in to Castform, get the Water Gun farm down its Altaria. In the back, and Ty not baiting, going straight for the Thunder. The opponent doesn't shield the Thunder. He now pivots out to catch the charge move on Cradilly. Ty absolutely playing with his food. We are almost at the Stone Edge. We're now over the Stone Edge. Ty going for a pretty risky bait. If the opponent calls the bait, they have a wink on, but the opponent shits their pants. Shielding up, and Ty now can land the Stone Edge for another impressive dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. I'd just like to apologise to anyone listening on headphones that heard me get very excited at the Power Whip, but let's not kid ourselves. I don't think any of us were ready for that Power Whip from Bellsprout to near one-shot the super bulky Walrus. But moving on to the next battle, see Cradilly into Umbreon. 2 fairly bulky boys, 2 fairly spammy boys, but it's going to take a while. The opponent actually shields the first charge move. Most Umbreons don't tend to shield as they have 6 million HP and they don't normally shield from full health. But it is what it is. Ty now pivots out into Castform, and the opponent commits another shield. I like to call myself Team Rocket's GBL representative because I've made legend using only Shadow Pokemon for 5 seasons. However, this opponent is playing like the Giovanni, shielding the first charge moves irrelevant of what we throw, and that is really puzzling. But Castform is going to finally land a charge move as Umbreon finally has no more Protect shields. Umbreon is going to take us out with a foul play. Ty now sends out Bellsprout. Bellsprout not the bulkiest, so he pivots out into Cradilly, going for the Wham Bam combo play as we had the Grass Knot locked and loaded. Finally, we've got past this Umbreon, and they have a Gardevoir. Rocking Charm in the back. Charm tearing through our Shadow Cradilly. We wouldn't make the Stone Edge, so we fire off the Grass Knot. That still does massive damage. One Vine Whip takes him out, and it's Pelipper in the back. Wing attacks are super effective. Bellsprout with 1 Protect shield remaining. We fire off the Power Whip, and holy crap, it does massive damage. I was going to say, can we make 2? But Bellsprout hits like a trot, and only 1 charge move was needed. Moving on to the next one. We see another Swampert in the lead, and interestingly enough, this opponent also chooses to stay in. We tank the Hydro Cannon. Ty returns fire with the Grass Knot. If the opponent shields, I think Ty is going to pivot. They do shield, and it's a simul swap Bellsprout into Machamp. We are supposed to resist counter, but it definitely doesn't look like it. This is just a cross shot Tai tanks it just about and he makes the power whip. Power whip should be enough to knock out unless the opponent commits a shield. Bellsprout beats Machamp in the zeros, and it's a Alolan Executor in the back. What the heck is this? If you had to think of a single Pokemon to hard counter Rainy Castform in the entire game, it would be Alolan Executor. Due to the Dragon Grass typing, they double resist both water and electric, so Tai is looking in a terrible spot. To make matters even worse, if we pivot out into Cradilly like he does, this Grass Knot is also double resisted as both Dragon and Grass do resist Grass, so Tai does get Dragon Tail farmed all the way down. He is going to try and shield up and make a play for this game, but I don't think there's anything he can do as Executor is going to outpace to the next Seed Bomb, and I think we're going to be pretty happy to lose to a fellow Spice Lord. GG's to that trainer. Normal service has resumed. We see some BBML. The opponent leads Azumarill safe switching into Sableye. Tai gonna fire off the Grass Knot for a shield or some chip damage. The opponent chooses to tank it, and that does a lot of damage. Tai now pivots out into Castform to absorb the energy. Foul play doesn't do too much to Rainy Castform. We do get the full Water Gun farm down. And I take back what I say about the opponent running BBML, as they've got a Gallade in the back. Gallade is not really what we want to see. We draw a shield with the Weatherball. We don't make Weatherball. Number 2, the opponent commits to the full Confusion farm down. Tai is going to respect a potential close combat, and the opponent full sends the close combat, lowering their defense. Hopefully the opponent lets this go. We really don't want to take a single Confusion on Bellsprout. The opponent does shield it up. Tai looking to make one more Grass Knot. This is a CMP Tai. The Bullet Seeds have got this Gallade into probably a single Vine Whip range. We don't take the Confusion. We farm down Azumarill versus Bellsprout. Mr. Opponent, do you really want to take this absolute savage beatdown? Apparently, yes you do, so we are going to shield up the Ice Beam. Tai fires one Vine Whip and the Power Whip, which is the correct timing for 2 turn versus 3 turn. The opponent tanked the Power Whip, and then they got obliterated by the subsequent Vine Whips. Mr. Opponent, you might have thought Azumarill is the top meta Kingpin. However, you was not ready for Bellsprout. Moving on to the next one. We picked up an absolutely beautiful lead. Our Shadow Cradilly into the newly buffed Surf Jellicent. I say Surf Jellicent, I assume they're actually running the new move. They safe switched into Galarian Stunfisk, aka the Bear Trap, and we've got the perfect response. In our little raindrop Rainy Castform, the opponent is going straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rock side. They're not even baiting the Earthquake, so Tai can easily tank all of this damage. Commit to the Water Gun farm down, back out comes Jellicent. Does the opponent respect Rainy Castform's Thunder coverage? They do not. They near get one shot. The opponent commits to the Hex farm down. We've got the Grass Knot locked and loaded. Jellicent already down 1 shield. The opponent choosing to go all shields on the Jellicent. We've still got 2 protect shields remaining. Tai shields the Surf. We now pivot out into Bellsprout to catch Surf. Number 2, Bellsprout tanks that fairly well. We do now commit to the Vine Whip farm down. It's Swampert in the back, and this game is absolutely over. We are going to outpace to the back-to-back charge move, so I imagine the opponent is going to let it go, and the opponent gracefully does, and not wasting our time. Moving on to the next one. We see Politoed in the lead. The opponent is staying in, so Tai does have to be mindful of a potential Blizzard. We do outpace to the Grass Knot, and the opponent just completely sacks Politoed. So we're never going to know if they had Blizzard. They now bring in the Pancake Unova Stunfisk. They're so weak to Cradilly. They attempt to catch a charge move on Talonflame. Tai, far too smart, pivots out into the raindrop. We correctly shield up a Brave Bird, and this game is so over. Tai can now Water Gun farm them all the way down. Back out comes Stunfisk. There's nothing more than a sitting duck. Tai going for the BM no bubble. The opponent didn't shield the Weather Ball. Tai fires off one more Weather Ball. Again, no bubbling it. The opponent commits a shield. Come on, Tai, show him the Bellsprout. The opponent is going to need to discharge, but I don't even think discharge is going to KO. It doesn't KO. We now have our switch timer pop up. We pivot out into Bellsprout, and the opponent probably has uninstalled the game, thinking that the algorithm definitely is real, as we absolutely hard countered that last opponent. But sometimes that does happen. The algorithm is a myth. You heard it here first. So a huge thank you to Tai for the incredibly spicy battle submission. Those battles were a whole heap of fun, as always. Ty, the king of entertainment. So if you like your battles featured on the channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, and a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.